Smallfoot. The film opens with a Yeti named Mygo, Channing Tatum, telling the history of his village. He and a large group of other Yetis live high on a mountain above the clouds, where they live according to a series of stones held by the stonekeeper, common. According to the stones, the Yetis were pooped out by a yak god and left on the mountain, that is held up by ox, that must be fed, or their village will fall into the great nothing. Mygo's father Dorgal, Danny DeVito, is the gong ringer who is supposed to summon the sky snail, sun, to bring the day. Mygo and the other Yetis are happy and peaceful, perfection. Mygo aspires to be the village gong ringer just like his dad. Stonekeeper calls Mygo to practice with Dorgal for when his time comes. After a few failed attempts, Dorgal launches Mygo toward the gong, but he gets distracted by Michi, Zendaya, Stonekeeper's daughter that Mygo has a crush on. He flies over the gong and tumbles down the other side of the mountain. A plane then crashes down near Mygo, and someone is ejected from it. Mygo goes over to see the person, and is surprised to see that it is a Smallfoot, human, considered by the Yetis to be legendary. Before Mygo can bring him back, the wind blows the man by his parachute and sends him down the mountain. Mygo runs back to the village to tell the others of his discovery. He brings the whole village with him to the site of the crash, but the plane slides down the mountain and falls over, and its imprint in the snow is blown away, leaving no proof of what Mygo saw. Because there isn't a stone to prove that the Smallfoots are real, Stonekeeper accuses Mygo of saying that the stones are wrong. Mygo admits to disagreeing with the stones, so Stonekeeper banishes him from the village. As Mygo walks through the foggy snow, he is found by the Yetis Gwangi, LeBron James, Kolka, Gina Rodriguez, and Fleem, Eli Henry. They are part of the Smallfoot Evidentiary Society, or Smallfoot Exists, Suckas, and because of Mygo's claim, they take him to their leader, who turns out to be Michi. Despite her father's beliefs that Smallfoots don't exist just because of the stones, she believes that there is something or someplace beyond their home, wonderful life. Michi convinces Mygo to go out and find the Smallfoot. The Yetis lower Mygo with a rope to go down beneath the mountain. They are interrupted by Michi's brother Thorpe, Jimmy Tatro. In their distraction, Mygo falls as the rope breaks, and he lands in a bed of snow. He sees the forest for the first time and is astonished by the world outside the mountain. Somewhere in town, we meet Percy Patterson, James Corden, a wildlife documentarian trying to get a video on an exotic spider. His nature show has been struggling in recent times due to people being interested in other things. The man from the plane then comes running in a panic as he tells Percy that he saw a Yeti. Percy talks to his assistant Brenda, Yara Shahidi, about trying to get a video of the Yeti to boost his ratings as he has personally fallen on hard times, Percy's pressure. He wants Brenda to get in a Yeti suit so they can fake the video and make it go viral, but Brenda refuses as she once respected Percy for his integrity toward animals. Mygo comes down near the bar where Percy is. Percy steps outside and sees Mygo, but he thinks it's Brenda in the suit. He is impressed until he sees Brenda riding away with the suit on a snowmobile, and he realizes Mygo is a real Yeti. Percy freaks out and tries to tranquilize Mygo, but he gets himself knocked out, and Mygo brings Percy with him. On the journey back to the village, Mygo stops inside a cave when Percy gets frozen from the cold. He warms Percy up over a fire, though it appears as though he's trying to roast Percy as a meal. Later, they find that they are in the cave of a tired mama bear, Patricia Heaton. She complains to Mygo about him and Percy disturbing her, and Mygo tries to talk to her, which Percy can't understand, so it appears to him that Mygo is almost saving him. On the way out, Mygo gets his foot caught in a bear trap. Percy sees that Mygo is hurt, so he bandages his toe up. Mygo resumes the journey and accommodates Percy so he can stay warm. The morning nears, and Dorgal prepares to do his duty, but he misses the gong, and his helmet breaks in two, but the sun still rises to his surprise. He rings the gong with both broken helmet pieces, and Dorgal is left questioning his job and purpose. Mygo returns to the mountain and reunites with Michi, Gwangi, Kolka, and Fleem. They arrive in the village so that Mygo may present Percy to the whole village. He is amazed to see the whole Yeti community. All the Yetis then become amazed and intrigued by Percy, wonderful questions, but Stonekeeper is not very happy at this discovery. Michi suggests to her father that he talk to Mygo to better understand each other. Meanwhile, Percy tries to explain human life to Michi and the others through drawings, but he starts to feel a little sick. Stonekeeper sends Thorpe to bring Mygo to their home. There, he tells Mygo the truth about their history, let it lie, Stonekeeper has always known that humans existed because the Yetis used to live below the mountain, but the humans' attempts to eliminate them drove the Yetis to live high up. The cloud formation that obscures their view of the land below is a result of the Yetis unknowingly dropping blocks of ice into a machine that makes steam, so the Yetis won't know of the world below, and the history with the stones was just something Stonekeeper made up to protect the others. He asks Mygo to help do the same when Mygo realizes that Percy did react almost instinctively to attack Percy. Stonekeeper brings Mygo in front of the other Yetis as he holds Percy, who is suffering due to high-altitude sickness and is growing colder and with less oxygen. Mygo is forced to lie and say that he didn't find a Smallfoot, but rather a rare form of yak. Everyone is upset, but especially the S, who know that Mygo is involved in a cover-up. Michi in particular is very upset with Mygo. Stonekeeper brings Percy to his cave. Mygo feels bad for betraying his friends once they abandon him. He goes to Dorgal, who encourages him to find Michi. He launches Mygo toward her home, but he finds that she isn't in her room. Stonekeeper hears Mygo coming in and sees that Michi is gone, and she's taking Percy back below the mountain. Michi's friends lower her and Percy down below, and Mygo goes after her, along with Gwangi and Kolka, but Fleem takes too long to decide whether or not he should come down, because, according to Gwangi, Fleem sucks. They follow Michi's footprints and see that she is headed into town. She leaves Percy somewhere warm, but she becomes distracted by the town's views, and the humans spot her and become afraid of her. Percy and Brenda find each other, and she tells him that the video he sent her from his time in the cave with Mygo has gone viral. The police arrive and try to capture Michi, but Mygo and the others save her, and they hide out in a Yeti museum, where they find that the humans think they are monsters. The Yetis try to run back up to the mountain, but are chased by a SWAT helicopter. Stonekeeper shows up and throws all of his stones to take the helicopter down, but not hurt those inside. Mygo comes across Percy, who reluctantly shoots a tranquilizer dart at him. It then appears as though Mygo has stumbled toward the police and that they have shot him, but it's really Percy in the Yeti suit to create a distraction, but now everyone thinks that he faked the Yeti video. He and Brenda reconcile, but Percy is arrested for creating a disturbance and destruction of property. Percy then deletes all the pictures and videos he took with the Yetis to protect their existence. Mygo and his friends go back up the mountain after they realize Percy saved Mygo, and only then does Fleem come down when it's too late. With Stonekeeper's help, Mygo speaks to the village again, saying that while the humans may seem terrified of them, and vice versa, the Yetis should still give them a chance. Stonekeeper helps Mygo stop the steam machines so that the Yetis can finally see the land below them. The Yetis make their way toward the town. The humans gather, once again nervous and a bit panicked, but Percy walks through the police blockade, followed by Brenda, to prove that the Yetis are not dangerous. The other humans soon follow, and the Yetis start to have friendly interactions. Meanwhile, Fleem is the only one who has failed to make it down the mountain until he gets scared off by a goat. The credits show little drawings on stone of how the humans and Yetis now play with and learn from each other.